Today, great success. I make a kickstart. All right, we are back. And today, we are back in the Zen category with the Zen Float tent. The first affordable float tank for home use. What the fuck is a float tank? Oh, well, sirs, you have no idea. First of all, where the fuck is he? In the Sahara Desert? What? He's just gonna floating in the desert now? Why would you take this? Where the hell this is? At the end of the earth? He's got a timer running. Look at how fast I can set up the floats. All right, this is taking too long. I thought normally when you show something that's quick to set up, it takes like 5 minutes. We're already at double that time. This is not a quick setup. 15 minutes, too long. And you didn't even put water in the fucking thing, so how am I going to do any kind of floating? Okay, you didn't mention you got to put water in the shit. Okay, that's going to take another, what, hour to fill it up?
Hi, I'm Shane, one of the
Oh, take it easy, Smiley.
creators of the Zen Float tent.
He is a fucking happy-go-lappy. He is just like so floated up. He doesn't know what's going. He's floating.
I'm so excited about this
I can tell just by the smiling, sir. He is very...
product because up until now, floating hasn't really been accessible to most people.
What? I never... Floating hasn't been accessible? Do you not have a bathtub, sir? Do you not go to the beach? Is there no rivers, no canals? What the fuck you mean floating's not been... And is that a thing? Do people just go someplace? I'm going to go down to the lake. What are you going to... go fishing? What are you going to do? I'm just going to float. Just going to float around and shit. Just float. Is that a thing? Do people float? Is that... That's ridiculous.
A couple of years ago, I was looking for a place to float, and
This can't be serious. This can't be real, bro. Like, why don't just get a fucking bathtub, bro? You don't need this.
there wasn't anything in my area.
There wasn't anything in my area, and the bathtub? Ha, that's floating for noobs. I need a pro float.
Even if there was, floating week after week would get too expensive.
How is floating expensive, bro? You go to a place that has water, you get in it, and you float. They charge... I don't know where the hell you're going that they charge you to float. I mean, what does he go down to like the local swimming place and be like, hey guys, I want to come into the pool. Well, what are you gonna be doing here? You're gonna be doing training, swimming lessons you need? What do you want to... I'm just floating. No, sir. No, we don't allow floating in our pools. Get the shit out of here. I just want to float a little bit. No floating. No floating allowed here. I don't care how much you smile. No floats.
So I took on the huge
Why would you fill a coffin with water? You get in there and you float and you close the lid? That's not right. It's just...
task of building a tank in my home, and I would say
That's like, oh my God. Why would you want to do that?
it was very difficult, but
It's very difficult. That he's got like a shower door handle on the fucking the top of it. Plywood going over the inside. It's made out of formica. What is happening here?
so worth it
There he is. He's floating away. He's got his candles over here. He's floating, guys.
to me because having a tank in my home, I could
This guy, he's so... Oh, look at me. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing in there? Floating. He looked like... What is this? Is this Pennywise, son? Because that's the only damn person that cares about floating. I know about floating, okay? And it's not a good thing, okay? I saw the damn Stephen King movie, It. And when Georgie was fucking made the little boat and went in the sewer, the clown came up and he said... And Georgie was like, hey, can I have the boat back? And he's like, well, come here. I got balloons. And Georgie was like, do they float? And he was like, they all float. And if you come down here, you'll float too. And then he killed him. So floating, no floating. No floating, sir.
float whenever I wanted, it really dramatically transformed my life for the better. I found myself wanting to help other people go through that,
And I made this crazy fucking tent that has a fucking pool inside it. It's crazy. And you go in there and you just float. Take it wherever you want. Take it to your hotel. Imagine taking this shit. You go to a hotel or something. You set this up in the hotel room and you're just floating in the room. And the room servicer comes up and says, "Hey, sir, come to change the tent." "Don't come in. Don't come in." "What? Why, sir? What's that?" "I'm floating." "What? You're what?" "I'm floating. Come back later." They'll be like, "What the fuck is this guy floating?"
Zen Float Tent is the answer to that.
Oh, and it's a Zen float tent. It's not just a tent. It's not just a float. It's a Zen float tent in the middle of fucking wherever this is. This looks so, like, weird. Where is this, dude? Is this like Area 51? How did he even get in there?
The material we used is extremely durable. It's a
It looks like a raincoat.
dual layer, waterproof, lightproof canvas.
Well, I would hope it's waterproof. If it's going to be holding water, that would be pretty important.
We didn't do any stitching. It's all welded, so you're never going to have a...
What? Welded? You can't use a welder on fucking flammable materials, sir. What do you mean welding? What was that, glue weld? What?
The frame is rock solid. We've got...
No, doesn't look rock solid to me. That looks like a regular, like fucking weak-ass aluminum poles.
heavy-duty stainless steel tubing, and that
Wait a minute, salt?
prevents against corrosion. We've also got the quick disconnect, so it's easy to assemble.
No, it wasn't. I saw it. Took 15 minutes to fucking set that shit up. That's not fast. And then you're an expert, and it took you 15 minutes. Imagine somebody that's never floated before. They're gonna get so angry they're not even gonna want to float when by the time they get done building that shit.
We tried several different designs, and we ended up on the pyramid. The steep walls of that design let the water roll down, so you're not...
What? What do you mean let the water roll down? Why would it roll down? Is it like a waterfall in there? What would...
drips that interrupt your float. We've incorporated a custom radiant heating system. It maintains a constant temperature and stays totally silent. For ventilation, we've used PVC elbows, which prevent light leaks but allow ample airflow.
PVC elbows? You mean the shit they use for fucking piping plumbing? Why would you... And what the shit is this?
To clean the water, we designed a custom pump
That looks like a custom something. I'm not going to say what it is.
that is actually a mechanical filter and a UV filter in one.
That looks like that. Oh my god, dude. That looks...
Takes care of everything. Since this is going to be in your home, we went with an
The hell it is? That is not going in my damn house. Who the fuck... That takes up the whole damn room. So you have a float room now? This is totally weird. Like, if I came to somebody's house and, you know, and I was like, hey, buddy, can I stay the night? I just came into town. Yeah, come up. You stay in the float room. What? What do you mean the float room? Just, it's cool, man. Just come up. Come on. I go up there and there's this shit in the room. Gone. I'm out of there, bro. Pennywise is definitely inside that shit. Definitely.
white finish, so it will always look great even when there's salt residue. We put
Why would there be salt residue? What's happening here? Why is salt involved now?
a lot of thought into size. We wanted it big enough for a comfortable float, yet small enough to fit in your home. The tent is 8 foot long by 4 foot wide.
Oh my, do people really do this, bro? Like, are you serious? Why can't you do this in the bathtub? Or a pool? Jacuzzi even?
I'm 6 feet tall and there is plenty of room for me to float.
Yeah, I can see that, and you look like you died, man, and you're just fucking floating down. What are you practicing a prank for people so you can pretend you've drowned and you're gonna float around? Like what? Why do you float, sir? Why are you floating? Why?
We want to make this available to everyone.
Oh my God! I hope not. I don't want to see this shit anywhere.
And that's where you come in. We've done the work. We've built an awesome prototype.
Oh, the block of cheese on the left and the fucking triangle float TP? Excellent.
We've lined up manufacturing, but we need your help to raise enough money
Oh, wow. He made a fucking 3D printed a damn fucking threaded coupler.
so we can tool up and complete that initial run. To accomplish this, we need to raise $100,000. And if you know anything about
What? $100,000 for floating? No, sir. That's you're floating our money down the fucking river is what you're doing.
Kickstarter, it's all or nothing. So if we don't reach our goal, we won't see a dime of funding.
Sir, we don't need to float. You still haven't explained the benefits. Why would we float? Why are we doing this?
So that's the Zen Float tent.
And it's terrible.
With your help, floating will finally be accessible to everyone.
I don't even think anybody knows what the fuck floating is. Now they do, but I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was even a problem. Because my solution would be, oh, I want to float. Well, I have a fucking bathtub. I have a pool, or I can go to a community pool or a jacuzzi and float. And I didn't know floating was so goddamn expensive. Where do you go to float? Is there floating places? I didn't know.
Thank you so much for your support.
Sir. This is all wrong. Oh, $10, we get a thank you. Okay, that's great. $30, we get a float shirt. $50, you're almost floating. You'll receive a pre-release copy. Is for tank. Okay, that's okay. $50 and it says you're almost floating. So you would think the next thing would be I'm floating. So how much would you think it would go from 50 maybe to, I don't know, 200 maybe? Nope. 1,700. We were not even close to floating. We didn't even have our fucking foot in the float tank for $50. You jump from 50? How do you do that? They start off, okay, we'll go 10, then 30, then 50, then blam, 1,700. Right on you, blam. Float your ass. For tanks in our second production run. The wait is about 2 months longer than original. What? Fastest way to get a tank. It's for one Zen Float tent and one of the first printed copies of the new Float documentary, Float Nation. Holy shit. There's a movie on this? 5,000? One Zen Float tent with salt and one of the first printed copies of the new Float documentary. Plus, Shane will come out and help you set up your new and give you some pointers to get... Oh, so the Float Master is going to come and can we float together? Can we just do a double float? This is ridiculous. Oh my God, dude. What? This can't be a real thing. Float Nation. Oh my God, it is. Let's just look at the trailer here for a second.
When you're in the float tank, there's essentially nothing, no external information.
Okay. Well, number one, Dr. Robotnik. Who the fuck is this? Get this off my screen. Who is this guy? Is this what happens when you float too much? You end up looking like this? No, that's not for me.
For you to pay attention to.
I'm thinking I'm gonna get in the tank and, get all claustrophobic. I'm hearing other people talk about it, how it's dark and all this stuff.
They used this. I remember a movie that had this. It was an old movie. I'm gonna find it and I'll put it here. But it's exactly like this movie. That's where they got this from. There was floating in that movie from 30 years ago? Oh my God.
There's 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts in here.
It's sort of the ideal and
1,000 pounds of salt? Holy shit, dude. That's gonna dry you out. You're not gonna have any water left in your body. Does that even fit in there?
environment to have a completely relaxed experience.
That looks like a shoe.
experience.
Whatever happens to them in the tank, it's their experience.
Whatever happens in the tank stays in the tank. Is that what you were going to say? Use that fucking Las Vegas saying? Whatever happens in the tank.
Really fully let your brain and body just take a deep breath and fully relax.
Kind of like people do in their bathtubs. Isn't that why bathtubs were created? So you could sit in the bathtub, lay down, put a rag over your face, and just relax. You don't need this. You just need a bathtub.
And when she texted me, "Oh my God."
Oh my God. I just floated. I can't fucking believe it. I never knew it. I mean, floating was so great. How much did it cost, honey? It was only $200 an hour. Oh, that's great. You're going to be the float master in no time.
Like, this was, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened? Is it bad? Is it good?" You know, and she was like, "This is the best experience I've ever had."
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. The best. These people have never had a bath in their life. They've never been in a pool, never been in a jacuzzi. I'll sell you my Zen floaties for half the price, and they'll float you all over the place. You know, instead of the ones, you know, like the floaties that they use for children, so they put them on their arms and they can float. I can make those for adults. I'll make Zen floaties. How do you like that? I'll take over this whole fucking business. Zen floaties for adults. And I'll even make a pair you put on your legs. So you put them on your arms and your legs, same shit. You can float all over the fucking place. Right down the river, down Niagara Falls, everywhere. Genius.
We have clients from 13 to 80 years old.
So this is the problem. These people are probably charging, I was joking, but I'm probably not joking. If I look it up, I'll look it up. Let's see how expensive floating is. Let's just take a minute here. Yep, I knew it. Look at this shit. 3 floats for $200. $200. Oh, and there's the 10 float special for $5. Are you shitting me? This is why this guy's making his own floats. This shit is ridiculous. What?
There's no one niche market.
I need to open a ridiculous float farm and charge people this shit. That's crazy. What is your cost for it's all profit. What do you buy? Salt? That's nothing. And water? Holy shit, this is I need to make a float business right away.
This is for everybody.
You should give them the opportunity to have their own experience.
Sir, you look like you've overfloated. Okay? Both of you. You need to cut back on the floating. Looks like you've had too much floating.
People are able to come in.
Holy shit. You, sir, looks like I said, the salt sucked the damn life out of you, sir. You are definitely overfloated.
And expect high level of quality and cleanliness.
You? No. It doesn't look like any of that you just described.
I'm gonna be down anytime in the near future.
What, do you just bang on it? What, like to show that how sturdy it is? I can do that too to fucking my desk, and that doesn't prove shit. That little shit. Give me a sledgehammer and let me hit that fucking float machine and see if I can knock it down. Your little fist is doing absolutely nothing. That's a weak test. Why are we driving in the city? Shouldn't we be floating? We're wasting too much time driving when we should be floating. And you could make a redneck float thing. See this, I'm sure you've seen this. You can take a pickup truck and put like a shower curtain liner or something waterproof in the bed of the truck, right? And then you fill the truck with water in the back. and then you can float, and someone can drive you around while floating. You see that? Fucking 400 IQ. You see that shit?
It reduces blood pressure in people who have normal blood pressure, and it reduces blood pressure in people who have hypertension. That's the bottom line.
60 minutes.
That's not the bottom line, because Stone Cold didn't say so. So don't tell me that's the bottom line. Only Stone Cold can say that's the bottom line, sir. And you look nothing like him.
Of complete relaxation, pain-free.
All right, now you're getting carried away. Floating does not reduce pain, okay? If it reduced pain and stuff like that, they would have floating tanks in hospitals, okay? They wouldn't give you pain medication, right? So you come in there with a broken leg, and what are they going to do? Put you in a float tank? Oh, your leg's broken? Hold on. Well, we'll just put you in the float tank, and you'll be pain-free until you're ready for surgery. Are you out of your mind? I hate bullshit claims like this.
And for someone who lives with pain every single day, every minute, that's priceless.
It's called the placebo effect, where you probably don't even really have pain, and it's an insult to people that have real pain to have people like you say bullshit stuff like this, that floating is reducing your pain, okay?
Then a little love before they have to...
Okay, this guy... Holy shit, I don't even know where to start. His beard is floating, okay? And he's hugging the float tank, the salt injector.
Take the brunt force of all of the insane poundage of salt that we have to put through them.
This is where it all started, an unfinished basement.
Here's that thing that guy had, the crazy float death chamber. At least this looks like something high-tech. Even though it's the same shit, they just made a fancy float tank. They all do the same damn thing. It's the same as a bathtub. Anything you could basically put water in, you can float in. This is like snake oil salesman to the maximum. Float Nation. Oh, God. Holy shit. This is a rabbit hole that I'm sure you don't want to go down. There's probably a million videos on this on YouTube. Oh my God, what is happening? What is happening here? Just float your problems away, people. You got no job. You're in pain. You're sick. Whatever it is, just float. Just float your shit away. Float your problems and pain away. Bullshit.